Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about how to play over chord changes. So we're going to take one of the songs that I'm working on lately. You've probably heard this on Instagram a few days ago, depending on the upload time. Maybe put the clip over here. Basically what's going on is I'm changing between two different keys, right? It's pretty obvious sounding. But we start in C minor and then we go into G sharp minor. So that's basically a common tone key change, modal interchange, however you wanna look at it. We're basically going from E flat major to B major, chromatic mediant. Doesn't matter. These are the two keys, and we have certain notes in common between the two keys. That's kind of the key point, because whenever you change key, no pun intended, you want to keep basically as a reference the notes that are going to stay the same and the notes that are going to be different in the new key. That's basically going to allow you to emphasize the notes in the right way and emphasize the intervals in the right way, in the way that you want. So in this case we have again C minor and G sharp minor, so we definitely have the E flat in common between the two keys. The other note is that's the only one, and the A flat, so we have the A flat in common as well. So E flat and A flat, these are the two notes that are going to stay the same when you change key. Everything else is going to change, and so that's already one good way of modulating between different keys, because for instance if I play the E flat in between the change, it's gonna sound pretty cool. I guess you heard what I was talking about. So I was basically emphasizing the E flat from one key to another. Right? You keep basically the E flat the same, and the chord kind of moves, and the key change kind of happens underneath what you're playing. So that's one way you can approach a key change. I think it's cool to have whenever you are improvising on, again, key changes. It's a nice expressive tool that you can use. So this is one way you can do it. The other way, which is also very interesting, is emphasizing the note that is different, especially if it's close to a note from the previous chord. So what I mean is, if I go from B flat, which is the minor seventh of C minor, I can go into the B natural, which is the minor third of G flat minor, and I could play maybe something like this. Right, so something like that. So I was basically emphasizing two notes from each key that are close to each other and that are also different from each other. So we go to B flat to the B natural. This sounds particularly good because again they're close to each other, so it's going to make the change super clear, and it's gonna sound pretty good when you improvise, especially if you connect the phrase with, you know, other licks, kind of like what I did here with the scale. That could be a nice idea. So I was basically using the E flat major scale and then B major scale, obviously, for the second chord. That's the other key concept that you kind of have to keep in mind when you play over key changes. You need to be absolutely 100% aware of the two scales that you're going to use. You need to know really well the E flat major scale in this case, and the next scale, which is B major. You need to know these two scales extremely well if you want to be able to change between the two while you improvise. And that's a really key aspect of this, because if you, let's say, know the E flat scale, let's say even very well, but you don't know the B major scale that well, you're gonna struggle anytime the change happens. You're gonna struggle to find, you know, visualize basically the different notes on the fretboard, and it's gonna be more difficult to you to navigate between the two different scales. I'd say first thing you need to do, if you're not already 100% familiar with different major scales, go back to the shapes, go back to the scale patterns, make sure you're 100% again familiar with these scales. So make sure you run through the whole fretboard, the every shape, every possible shape. So I'm gonna do that in E flat major. So you start from the lowest note available, I played that fast, obviously, for the sake of this video, but you're meant to play this very slow so that you're actually focusing on the actual notes on the fretboard and not just the shapes. So make sure you don't run this as an automatic exercise for your fingers. This is not really about technique in this case. We're trying to visualize the scales, so you need to pay more attention. So I wouldn't play that fast in the practicing stage, obviously. It's just for the sake of this video. But anyway, after that, you do the same, obviously, for B major. Once you have that very clear 100%, you try to maybe switch from one scale to another, so you can start in E flat major. So I guess you get the idea, going from one scale to another. The other thing that you can try is obviously arpeggios. So E flat major 7. Sorry. You get the idea. I was basically going from the E flat major arpeggio to the B major 7 arpeggio, and that's a great way to visualize the main notes of each chord and make sure you can switch from one to another. So Again, very slow, just run through the arpeggios, make sure you're visualizing each note and that you're aware of each note, and then you try to shift that to the next chord, to the next key actually. You go from E flat to B, and there's actually another note in common that I think I didn't mention at the beginning. That's the B flat, or maybe I did, I'm not sure. But anyway, we have the E flat, B flat, and A flat in common between the two keys. And that's also helpful again with the arpeggios, because if you so that was E flat major, and then here the B flat becomes the B major, E flat major, and you start to kind of see the two arpeggios at the same time, which is what you want to do, what you want to be able to do if you want to obviously improvise across different keys. Obviously, if you have a different key change in your case, you basically do the same, transpose everything into those two keys that you're in, that you need to play in, and same concept apply, it's just different keys. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful for you. I'm gonna maybe try again on this backing track, see if I can come up with a few new ideas, maybe something that will be inspiring. Mainly I will focus on arpeggios and having notes in common, trying to find the closest notes available and try to make the key change sound smooth, which is the goal. Whenever you're improvising or key changes, you don't want to make it feel abrupt and make it feel like it's two different keys. It should feel, you know, cohesive and smooth. That's when it sounds good, basically. So yeah, let's give it a go.